Hey, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of Comics Discourse 114. We have hit 200 episodes.
What the fuck?
Pew, 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 pew. Fucking weird. I don't believe it. Anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Bryan Newberry,
I'm Bryan Clark.
And I'm Hassan.
and we could not we debated on what to do with this show, and we landed at having our good friend Anthony G come and just talk to us for a while. He got some questions for us. We're gonna do our best to answer them. So Anthony, welcome back. And
What's
thank
up,
you.
guys? Thank you for having me. This is a huge honor to be on number 200.
Anthony, what
Although
is
I
this
feel
like?
like 228 would have been like a bigger honor, you know?
No. We have left that one. We have joked with Tom King when he came on for 114 that he's gonna have to come on for 220. I don't think Hassan has started laying that groundwork.
28 weeks left to go.
Yeah, well, thanks. Thanks for inviting me on. Yeah, so I feel like what we're going to do here to celebrate number 200 is just ask you guys some questions about like the journey of this podcast, about your journey together, how you guys have changed over time, how the podcast has changed, and, just a celebration.
And some other random shit that you will probably pull out of your rear that we have no idea about. I would not be
No,
surprised.
I'm not gonna give anything crazy. Don't worry about it.
So, Anthony, how many times have you been on? Do you remember?
Just twice, two
It
times.
was more than that. Okay.
No,
Well,
no. You had me on for like a flash. We did
yeah.
Mark Waid's Return of Barry Allen,
Yep.
and then we did Walt Simonson's
Walt Simonson's Fantastic Four.
That's right, where you
Yeah,
gift us the artist edition.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I know, just too. There's people that've been on this podcast way more than me. They should have been doing this.
You,
Who's your number one most repeated guest?
not to be Frank or Frank.
Gotta
Yeah,
be Frank.
because
Frank, well, that's because
Frank's been on.
because he was with us on a monthly spotlight. That helped.
Yeah.
That helped
Yeah.
boost up the
Shane.
stats.
Yeah, Shane would be up there because of the
That's
Justice
true.
League too.
Yes.
But I think Frank with the four witch hats, and then um
Shane.
the Max
Divine
Faraday
Right.
thing.
Oh, Divine
Yeah,
Right,
Ma-
yeah.
Divine Right, and he was
Mhm.
on another time or two. So yeah, he's got to be the number one. Um,
So,
yeah.
do you remember your very first day, the day that this podcast premiered?
That's a tricky question because Hassan reminded me today. While this is technically the 200th we put out, it is not the 200th we have done.
And this is
Because
where the
we
114 comes from, right?
a
Yes.
little bit, yes, because we did. Guys, how many months did we do like practice? Like 2 months at least before we put out
Yeah.
the first episode.
Yeah, that's because also the schedules. It wasn't like we're practicing every week. It's not like we're Rocky and we're like, okay, it's podcast to this morning and we're podcast tomorrow next day. But yeah, we were just trying to see how it ebb and flowed. And when we did all these rehearsal episodes, we end up somehow stopping and talk to that. Yeah, 1 hour and 14 minutes. Yeah, crazy.
That's crazy that you guys are practicing for months beforehand.
Yeah, we still did. It still took a long time to get in the groove.
Well, we also want to be like a little more organized because generally your first episodes, like if you just do it, freestyle, commando, you might not. The first episode might not be strong, so we decided we want to practice a little bit more and get.
Yeah, I don't know
into
why
the rhythm.
Hassan didn't wear pants like the first couple.
Which is
At
why
least
we're
kept
not
it
on
nice
video.
and cool, and
Yeah.
wasn't sweating or anything.
No.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
think your first episode was published on November 7th, 2022.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? Like,
I
so
know.
3.5 years, a little over 3.5 years. It does
Yeah,
not
it
seem
doesn't-
like it.
It does
No.
not.
No.
200.
2022
And-
was like a couple minutes ago.
Did you ever think like you'd make it to 200 on November 7th, 2022?
No.
Dang, I thought we would
Hassan's
just.
very.
I would do this. We're gonna do this till one of us died. I'm pretty sure that's how it's gonna happen.
Like
Uh,
realistically, what did you think? What did each of you? How far did you think this was going to go?
I mean, let me
Like
say
at the
differently.
beginning.
I'm still amazed that we're able to do this on a weekly basis, like nonstop weekly. Sometimes, behind the scenes, we might, do 2 episodes in one week to catch, to get ahead because of vacations and whatnot. But the fact that we're been posting at least one episode a week is impressive. Not missing. I thought we missed at least one by now.
Yeah, you have a few banked, right?
We try. We
Hassan
try.
keeps track of it. I think we have at least probably two banked at this point, don't we?
Man, that's such a good idea.
By time this is, yeah, we're gonna have two or three. Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like that really takes the stress off, though, if you have stuff banked. So there's not that, the stress of, oh God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do this week?
Well, sometimes there is that where we don't decide what we're gonna do until like a day before because we're hemming and hawing. And the other thing is when we do record, we try not to, except for times where we don't have something banked, and there have been the odd days where we record Sunday morning and I publish it Sunday night. That's not stressful at all because we have real jobs, and we record say on a Thursday. I might be busy Friday, might not get to editing until Saturday, so it gives me some time to edit.
So how do
Well,
you
and
guys? Sorry, go ahead.
hold on. Two things. Well, one, we bank a lot, especially in the summer. Like after summer, we tend to not have any banked because if you guys haven't noticed, Bryan travels a shit ton, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Hassan and I just
So,
trade off going to Europe. That's what we do.
Yeah, this was bizarre.
and so we like to have some because we like to have shows where all of us are on as much as possible. But, we do have lives, as Hassan says. Shit comes up and we just work around it. As for how long we expected to go, I have no idea, Anthony. I was just like, we'll do this until it doesn't work anymore. That's more with the mindset I went into it with. Not are we going to hit 500 or 1,000 episodes? It's these are my friends. I want to hang out, and if life gets too busy, and I'm not going to let that affect a friendship. So,
That's the way it should be, man.
and
Yes.
Bryan, you didn't get to answer the question, so your turn.
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with that. I would expect it to go for years. Like the origin of this was, hey, we all like to talk about comics and have different sort of origins there. So why don't we just get together once a week so we can at least hang out? And then, we all listen to comic podcasts, and those people that know stuff makes it more enjoyable. I was like, it's gonna go for a while. Like there's a lot that I haven't read, and that's fun to me. That I'll be like, oh yeah, I haven't read this. I'm down because sometimes you get there and you're like, I want to read a comic, and you cannot figure out what the hell you want to read.
Hmm.
And now like you kind of get homework every week, but it's like, okay, this is cool. I'm into this.
You
It
actually
is
like
funny
your
behind the
homework?
scenes when one of us is not into something, though.
I like homework when it's fun comics, as long as it's not like
Yeah.
about like young vampires or anything like that.
This is a Crimson episode.
Exactly. Exactly. We have learned
Um,
Bryan does not like vampire comics or teenage vampire comics.
yes,
I'm a
yes.
grown ass man. I
Yeah,
like
I
my
wouldn't. Yeah.
comics with turtles in them, and ducks,
Turtles and
and
bunnies.
rabbits.
Yeah, so Hassan, you kind of touched on it a bit, but how do you guys pick what you're going to cover?
Well, that's interesting. We have a Word doc where we put ideas on paper, and then I say half the time we ignore them, and then and
That's
then
true.
it is true. I think we just spitball it. Like what we try to do, and this is the thing I love about this podcast, and focus on both current comics, manga, classic comics. We just this all those things. We can talk new stuff, old stuff. There's a lot of stuff to read, and we try to think about okay, what we haven't talked about yet recently, right? That's not we're not going to cover we don't want to cover the same materials every week, because then it would not make it special and interesting. So I do think we spitball things, like what we're reading, hey, this sounds interesting. Like right recently, we just covered Justice League of America 200. Obviously we're on the episode 200 today. It's issue 200, I think, not episode 200, and of Justice League of America. But also DC's putting out a Treasury edition, so the timing was perfect. It's like, hey, it's been solicited. Let's talk about it. So sometimes it's what's in the news, what movies coming out. We don't really cover movies directly, but sometimes, hey, here's this story related to the movie. Let's cover that. So we just think about things, like that.
But I'm gonna tag it a little bit, and Brian, I'm gonna slightly pick on you. Don't get mad. If Brian comes, Brian is usually this along for the ride. Like, yeah, I want to read whatever the you guys pick. I'm gonna read it. Every now and then, Brian's like, I want to cover this, so that trump because Brian doesn't come to the table with the I want to read this, so that trumps when Brian does bring something like he's like, we're gonna read it. But other than that, it's just like a lot of Hassan said. We'll just throw shit in the chat, or I'll be randomly think, oh, let's cover that, and I'll text. We have a side Slack just for this discuss for the podcast, so we throw shit in there, and it's just like, or we throw it in the Google Doc if you're not around where you're going to text somebody real quick, um, and just rotate through shit, or we'll just be like, hey, I'm not feeling this. What about this?
And,
Or hey, we haven't done a topic in a while. What about this idea?
and sometimes I'd be like, an idea's thrown, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure that's popular right now. Let's not cover it.
Yeah, you can tell when Hassan doesn't like an idea.
What work has been on the Google Doc the longest that you guys should just
Shit, there's some
probably
stuff from the
erase?
start. Let me look.
Oh yeah.
Like what? Like what? Every time you see it, you're just like, oh no, not this
Hold
week.
on.
Not next week either.
Y'all keep
Well,
talking, and I'll find.
I also feel it goes back to the beginning. We're very focused on let's cover a story arc in detail. So we had a lot of story arcs, and if you go back to our beginnings, our episodes were way long, like over 2 hours, and it's like, oh, if we go into page by page, issue by issue, it's like it was a deep dive on the whole book, and we realized that, hey, you know what, we should be a little tighter.
Y'all Hassan's had a little bit of drink, and he's cracking his own self up.
It takes nothing with this guy.
Anyway, we thought we'd be tighter, and we reduced it. So we're covering less. Like not every week we're covering a story arc. So we do sometimes. Sometimes we just do, hey, top of the stack. We do our monthly spotlight. So there's stuff been on there. I mean, I think since like
There's stuff on here
years.
from the beginning. I found it.
Yeah.
So Anthony, we broke it down into DC, Marvel, and Independent.
Hmm.
We've touched on some of these or around it, but I know these were on it from the beginning. Decorum and Echo Lands, The
Yes.
Kill Lock,
Yep.
the saga we've covered, but
Those
not.
the Decorum and Echolands were on their beginning because they came out right when we started this,
Yeah.
and
The
they're
Inkle's
both
on
crazy.
And then with Marvel, just there's like a dozen on here, but some of them, one of my favorites, Clandestine, which I still have not got them to read.
I read it when it
Spider-Verse,
came out.
some classic Alpha Flight, Fantastic
Hmm.
Four, The Reckoning War,
I
Planet
see
Hulk.
whoever organized this list saw Birthright and had a different thought of what it was because I'm pretty sure it's the Image series
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and
it's with
not
the
the
wrong
Superman.
category.
Yes. No, that's true. That's true.
Austin's like
Um,
Batman Birthright. I'm sure there's a story on that.
No, you know what? I might have put Superman Birthright once too. I think maybe that's it because I reread it recently, not for the show. Um, yeah,
But we have covered some of these things that are on here. There's because there's some DC because I swear we did Lonely City, some Flash with Jeff Johns because Brian was into reading that at one point, and we just kept saying let's cover that. We never did. Like there's like probably 2 dozen or more things on the list that have been here from the start that we just haven't got to yet.
It's time to start over, man. Fresh.
Ah.
All right. You
Let's
guys
go
have
in
already,
chronological order of all
you've already
Marvel and
covered
DC.
like a lot of things that I wanted to like touch on. Like, how did you prepare for the show? How do you choose what you're
And
going
we
to
haven't
do?
talked about how we prepare for the show. That's
yeah, yeah.
different.
But I would say this too. Like I I should call. I want to shout out Daryl Taylor, who it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing this podcast because he invited me to join Gotham by Geeks, and I love talking about DC and Batman, obviously, and I love talking to Daryl and Russ, and that's why I love the show too, is because I get to talk to Bryan on a weekly basis. We needed a topic, but it's just great to talk to them about comics in general. But also, I would say the reason why that list is interesting is when we started getting together. One of the reasons I was interested in this, again, everyone knows I love DC Comics, but I love comics in general. I love Marvel. I love Independence. I love all. Name me a publisher, I could name you a comic I love. But when we started this, I was like, oh, it'd be awesome. I get to talk about more current Marvel books because I don't really do that anymore. And something interesting happened. As we started the show, the quality of the Marvel books is going like down. That's my finger going down. I know this is audio. Yet the quality of DC kept going up. So it's funny where I had to fight that balance of like, okay, what should we talk about? Okay, DC. Okay, is there anything else besides DC? So, but yeah, I would say that's also part of the why some of the things we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah. You
So
can always go to the past, though.
Oh, the
that's
past
what
is
we do.
awesome.
You know.
The
So
Marvel
Anthony,
and
you alluded to how we each prepare for the show. I kind
Yeah.
of I want everybody's take on how they prepare for an episode. Brian, how do you prepare?
Like after I have my assignment,
Yeah, like we're gonna
Yeah.
read House of X for the show. What do you do? Or we're gonna
uh,
discuss House of X on the show.
yeah, I try to figure out like how dense that's going to be, and so how much like I try to read it close to the show time because brains aren't what they used to be.
Ain't
I
that
do
true?
take notes, and like the things that I like usually point out is really ridiculous lines, cool like like weird story plots or panels that I think are really fun. So I take notes about those things. Sometimes I like to like research either about the creator or the book itself just to give myself a little extra context because it is different. Like sometimes we read a lot of like Bronze Age stuff because that's you, Bryan and Hassan's zone, and I don't have the nostalgia vibe to it, but I still think it's interesting to kind of get the context. Like, so I'll be like, oh, this character, I don't know who the hell this is, or I don't understand the beats here, and I'm like, Bryan and Hassan will definitely tell me what is missing here, and I go
When
along for
you
that ride.
when you bring something to the table, do you feel like you prepare more for it because it's sort of like your baby a little bit, or that
It
you want
depends
to
if
get worth?
it's yeah, I mean, if it's something that I know quite well, then I don't have to prepare as much.
Yeah.
Like Akira, like when we did Akira, like I've read that I know so much shit about Akira. I don't need to prepare. But sometimes then you're like, oh shit, it's been a minute since I've read this. I can't be looking like a fool. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But yeah, I don't probably a little more, but not as much.
Hassan, how about you?
well, I right before every episode, I take off my clothes and I go outside and meditate for an hour. That's it.
All right, Brian, now you.
He said seriously.
No. So it depends what episode. So on when we do the top of the stack, I know we're going to cover books that we read, over the past 30 days. So I actually try to take notes of what I read to highlight because I read something 3 weeks ago. I'm not going to remember like, oh, I love it. Why? It was cool. So I try to take some notes and also notes on the creative teams, like on random stuff I've been reading. So when we have those type of episodes, I'm a little more prepared. But like Bryan, I try to read the stuff probably Sunday. If we record, say Thursday, either well, why so late? It's because work sometimes so busy. I might not have time to read it. The Wednesday night family stuff. So I try to read everything over the weekend for the show, and then refresh my memory like the day before. And I do take notes when I read a book, especially if it's dense. It depends if I'm familiar with it or not. But and I also write down name of the characters because I don't remember name of characters anymore. I really don't.
I'm
There's a lot
slightly
more content, and like it's it is hard to keep track of. There's 17, like when we were reading comics in the 80s and then in the 90s, like there was just not as much. Like it's
No, it's not. And
crazy. It's crazy to think how much content is blasting you at all times.
yeah, and I think that's why DC and Marvel do, and even some of the Image books are more popular because it's like very easy to pick up a Batman book, and you go, wait, Commissioner Savage? What? No, just kidding. But you get the gist of the characters, right? For the most part, right? Versus if you pick, like I'm going to be honest with you, I cannot read a Jonathan Hickman book monthly anymore. I mean, I don't remember like, oh, what's the, oh, these, what's going on, especially an independent book. Mainstream book, yes, I could read, but independent books, I gotta wait till it's done. There's no way.
and I tend to read whatever we're doing on the weekend. And then I come up, I don't do notes. I'll come up to my office where we record about 20 minutes before. I usually log on to the Zoom, waiting for Hassan to start it. And I'll flip through the issues real quick just to like refresh myself with the big beats. And at most, I might write down a character name because I am getting bad at names. And I know it. So, but most of the time, I'm flying off the seat of my pants
Dang.
when we're discussing something.
You're like a comic book knowledge vault, though.
If it's the old shit, yeah, but if it's new stuff, it's not in here near as deep.
It's so crazy that you're so good with the old stuff. Like still, considering
Yeah.
how old you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
my wife makes fun of me the fact that okay, my wife makes fun of me that I remember all this not trivia stuff, like stuff that happened long, long time ago, and I can't remember someone's name we just met a week ago.
Yep. That's happening to me increasingly more. But no, most of the time I'm flying off the seat of my pants as I'm babbling shit. And it is funny. I do
Wait, you're
notice
just like a person that
that
doesn't like you're not like
talks.
trained in comic knowledge.
No, I'm just a person.
You see, fool me.
Oh, but yeah, I know Hassan extensive notes on stuff sometimes, and
Yeah. No
like
offense,
this.
guys, but I could tell that Hassan's like the most prepared
I'm
during
type
the
A,
episodes.
dude. I'm type A. Like
I'm like, oh, here comes the essay he wrote. I know this is the essay.
I'm getting better. I got better.
No, it's
Oh,
good. It's good. It's good. All right, guys. Let's see. So, how have your? I mean, I already know the answers to these questions, but like, how have your tastes changed over the last 200 episodes? And I think the dude that's changed the most is probably Brian Clark.
I was just say which brand.
I would have said Hassan,
It's all
but
those Batman comics I've been reading now.
I mean, for
Nah,
me, it's
Hassan. I think I kind of side with
eh,
Brian on this
yeah.
because
No,
we've
yeah,
got you outside of your box the most. Brian's tried more stuff he's never read. We've got you interest, and I'm not saying Brian wasn't interested in this stuff, but we've got you. Well, let's just flat out say it. You never read manga before this show, and now you're
no,
liking a lot of
yeah. So
manga.
let's.
And beneath the
Okay.
trees.
Well, that's one,
Now
but
that's Square and Hassan's.
but in American comic books, like publication, I have, not to be, I'm going to sound like I'm going to sound pompous. I'm going to drop some knowledge, but I know a lot about comic history. I read, like I said, American comics, publishers that don't exist today. I read books from them. It is the foreign comic books, specifically to you guys' point, manga that I was not as familiar with, although I was anime in the past, and now I'm reading manga like more than like a million times more than I did before the show.
You don't feel your tastes have changed, guys?
Well, how do you
Eight.
think our tastes have changed? I
Oh,
want to hear your
Well,
answer to it.
I mean, I feel like I feel like Brian Clark, like you were mainly like you were a manga guy with a lot of like 90s image flavor, you know? But
Yeah,
now I feel like you have like maybe it's not a taste so much as it is like I can tell how you have a much greater appreciation for like older works for sure, or like, Silver Age, Bronze Age runs that you just didn't experience before, you know?
yeah, that's pretty accurate. I mean, a lot of my knowledge was like from trading cards that like captured that, and I always thought that stuff was like mythological almost, like, and you're like 12 years old reading about these battles, like you're like, never gonna read this comic,
Yeah.
and now I just can fire it up on a tablet and read everything.
And now you've read
I
Armor Wars.
I read Armor Wars. Whew, I read that, and that literally is a Marvel card that I was like, holy shit, look at this, and then I read
I
it, and I was
remember
like,
it.
yeah, and I was like, wow, I wish I didn't read that. I mean, this week alone, I'm weirding out reading Star Wars Dark Empires, and I'm not even that big of a Star Wars guy, but that comic is really, really cool, and I find that like super awesome. So going all over the spectrum is pretty fun.
I was going to say, I think you are the most unpredictable of the what the fuck is Brian reading right now? And what tangent is he going to go off?
Yeah, I guess Newberry, your tastes haven't changed because you just read so much,
I
though,
know
you
it
know?
changed. He got way into 2000 AD and Judge Dredd, like
Oh
Judge
yeah,
Dredd and Brian
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Newberry. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Rebellion. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Rebellion was my answer. Totally. I mean, I've been digging European comics for years, but I just could not crack 2000 AD, and that has happened since this podcast. And I can't get these fuckers to crack, except for when I say, "Here's the really good shit. Go read it."
And that recommendation that come from your friend Tim.
No, I just decided to read 2000 AD. Like every now and then, I give it a chance, and it just wouldn't click. And I was like,
I felt like
"I'm
we
gonna effing do
discussed
it."
it and you just went down some rabbit hole like hard because like I own like a gigantic Judge Dredd statue. I've been Judge Dredd in cosplay. Like I like Judge Dredd. You've read so much more
Or don't
Judge
read
Dredd.
Judge Dredd.
I own all of the floppies. Like
Was that the Judge Dredd statue you saw at Comic-Con
it
last year?
it was.
You got it? Dang.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
didn't think you got
nice.
I got it.
it.
But
Still
yeah,
haven't
after
read a
that,
Judge
I
Dredd book.
just, and it's not just Dread. I dive into try all this Rebellion shit that they put out. Well, not all of it, but yeah. But Tim hooks me up. He does. I am not going to discount that. And I actually got Tim back into 2000 AD because he hadn't read it for years, and then he got back into it because I was talking to him about it. So
Yeah, you reading what his name? Strontium Dog.
I haven't really read that yet, but I do have a collection of it here,
Yeah.
piled up. Yeah.
And then like Judge Anderson, I've always like how are you, I could see you always liking Judge Anderson, but you liking Judge Dredd is what's shocking to me.
Dude, when you get some good Judge Dredd, it's good. When you just get mediocre, it's not worth reading. But
Mm.
man, Judge Anderson's got some cool shit too. So
Mm.
those essential collections, highly recommend them. They will get you hooked on that stuff.
So, if your guys' tastes have changed based off of this show, probably what other hosts have brought to the show, what, if you can remember it, and it doesn't have to be one from each guy, but like, what's your favorite recommendation that one of the other hosts brought? Or like, a work that just really hit for you that you wouldn't have read otherwise?
Pluto.
Also,
Um,
you just say boom in general.
yeah. I have a good answer.
Go for it.
Cross gen.
Oh, oh,
Brian's like
it
such
gives
a
me the
cross
warm and
gen
fuzzies.
fan, and then was like,
Here's
I
whatever
swear to
happened.
God, he works for cross gen, and it's just like, oh, I know your taste. Let me recommend these titles to you. And I own so many floppies of cross gen now, and have talked to creators about their cross gen, And like what a wild like niche thing that only comic nerds know about.
Which reminds me, we haven't done a cross-gen show in about 2 years. It's time.
Put on the
Austin,
list.
who recommended Boom to you? Was it Newberry?
No, I think I. No, no, not me. I think I was reading Boom right before we started.
Yeah, that's what. But you said boom a minute ago when
No,
Anthony.
Pluto. Pluto.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought
Wow,
you
how?
said Pluto. Okay, that's where you
Yeah.
said boom.
Sorry. No, Pluto. Sorry. Just rewind.
But
Just
I was thinking
Urasawa in
Newberry because
general
like
almost.
didn't Boom do Power Rangers books? So
Yes, they
I mean,
uh they shit on the Power
Pluto
Rangers books.
is the first manga that I read completely. Actually, Akira is the first, but I mean, everyone reads Akira. That doesn't count. Like it'd be like someone said, "Yeah, I read comics. I read Watchmen." What else did you read? Nothing else. I don't think reading the full volume of Akira counts. But I read Pluto, and it blew my mind away. I couldn't stop reading it.
That guy is good. And now you're obsessed with more Urasawa.
Yes.
all right, we've been talking a lot about books and stuff. Let's get a little, a little personal, I guess. Okay, so I don't want to break the show yet.
That's scary. All right.
Okay, how's this? You guys have been going to like you go to a lot of conventions. When was the first time that you guys like all met together? You'd already been doing the show, right?
Yes. I never met them until after the show.
I thought you met. I thought we met at Heroes before in 2022, or did you not
Yeah.
go to that
I
one?
did not go to 2022.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
So
That's where
crazy.
the year where everyone that went to Heroes got COVID. Yeah, I did not go.
Yeah. Did we meet at Baltimore that year?
No, I want to
No, because
say
Baltimore was 23, wasn't it?
we met we started the
The
show
year
and
end?
then we met I think at Baltimore, right? That's the first time we met was Baltimore 2023. Yeah.
No, because you went to Hero. We were at Heroes 2023. You were there too.
I was there too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Okay.
right before Baltimore.
So we weren't
Well,
doing a
I
show back then. Okay, then we
Yeah,
met before the show.
because I remember Raj was there and he was rocking a
But
shirt.
no, but that 2023 is still after the show. We started the show in
yeah.
2022.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Still, but it
Brian
was
and
still
I
a
had
year.
met.
Man.
Yeah.
Brian and I met in person in 2021 at MiniCon, Heroes MiniCon. Wasn't it, or was it 2020?
Dude, all that's a blur.
How do
Yeah,
you
it's all
guys can't
those
even
things.
remember this, and yet you're like 40-year-old comic wisdom?
2019 to 2021 is
It's
all
all the
one
same
year
year.
for
Yeah.
everybody on Earth. That's
But
it's
but,
I
but
met.
the point is, I met you guys after we started the show, and I was hoping
Yeah.
that you guys weren't catfishing me.
we are though.
I have a story from that Heroes 2023. That was the first time I had met Hassan
Yes.
in person. And I remember I was listening to your Heroes recap from a couple weeks ago, and how you were saying that you just tell because some people can't get your name right, so you just
Yes.
tell them like
Yes.
Hassan. So I
Yeah.
called you Hassan the first time I met you,
I know.
and
I
New
know.
I'm
and
laughing
Newberry
because a lot of
slapped me
people call him
down.
Hassan, and I'm just like,
Dude,
yep.
dude. I mean,
And Newberry was there. He slapped me down immediately. He's like, "It's Hassan," and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry."
So, do you guys remember? Maybe you guys are too young. This old Bugs Bunny cartoon where it's
Who's Bugs Bunny? No.
he's being chased by this fat Arab guy, and the guy names Hassan. He goes around saying Hassan chop, Hassan chop. And so in high school, we're in the middle of algebra class. This is great. Had nothing to do with comics. This guy who was definitely on
This
drugs
is therapy.
suddenly yells out Hassan chop, and so my nickname was the Chopper in high school.
Oh my God, that's a wild story, Chopper.
I'm gonna get you like a Bugs Bunny figurine for Christmas.
Doing the Hassan chop.
Do you guys have like a favorite memory from the cons you do together?
Yeah, I have a bunch. I remember like we were all into The Forge by Greg Rucka and Mike Henderson. And Brian and I was it talking to Greg Rucka and Mike Henderson and telling him. I know Hassan and I.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
Hassan and I, and not Bryan. And we were talking
Yeah.
to him about our show, and he was real into it. But it was just cool to be like talk to like, hey, we talked about your book. I was picking up. We were both picking up art from Mike Henderson. That was pretty awesome. Um, I mean, Haas and I also. It was pretty fun with Frank to meet Jim Lee at Baltimore. That was pretty cool. Um, and then Bryan and all his shirts, all the comments he gets from all the creators is always pretty fantastic. Because he always has the deep cuts in the. I do think the creators are like, oh, this guy. I don't have to talk about just Batman with this guy. I get to talk about other things.
I I have an interesting story. It's actually very topical. So a couple years ago, at the con, it's not actually at the con. I'm at the gym. Bryan Newberry's at the gym. We're working out, and I go, I think that's Daniel Warren Johnson there. I
Okay,
said,
let me say something
yeah,
from my perspective though. So the Weston Gym is a wall of treadmills facing the windows that are very reflective for the people behind you that are doing the weights and stuff. And let's just be honest, I was checking people out and I was like, damn, that dude's hot. And then Hassan comes up and informs me who this dude is. So Hassan, I will let you take it from there.
and then, he's very pleasant. And I say, hey, how are you doing? He says hi to me, and then I start having conversation with him. Bryan joins us. He starts showing us then unreleased art on his phone. That art that he's showing us, preview art, he didn't really show us that much, but he did show us some cool art from it, some designs. Didn't show us the character. That was just announced today. His new
Did we
image
say
book.
who it was though, Hassan?
Yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson. Did I not say that?
Oh, I didn't realize you said who it was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Daniel Warren
So we had
Johnson,
talked
man.
to him for like 20, 30 minutes in the gym. Raj about lost his fucking mind after we talked
Yes.
because he was asleep.
Because the other thing is it's very difficult to talk to the guy on the con. It's explore it now. He's super popular, long lines, and I still think about that moment. And I think it's early in our podcasting that I didn't have the I'm going to say the balls to say, hey, our podcast is Comics Discourse 114. Why don't you come on and talk about your comic? I was like, I couldn't do that. And that's the thing too. Sometimes I get starstruck, and he's definitely someone who I get starstruck on, and I forget to mention the podcast.
Everybody's gonna be hanging out at the Weston gym now,
I know.
I know.
trying to
So
find him.
speaking of Hassan getting starstruck, the worst he's ever gotten it. And I think it was so cute. Baltimore last year, Mark Wade was there. And Hassan was just so he was so tongue tied the entire time. And he was kicking himself after we left. I forgot to say this and this and this. It was just so cute and funny. But yeah, I mean, really, I just go to the cons to hang out with people. So I've got so many memories with that, just with creators and stuff.
Yeah, are you guys
Danny
surprised
Warren
that
Johnson
Bryan?
and
Are you surprised that
what's up?
Bryan doesn't buy anything at cons?
I'm surprised too.
I am too.
So
I'm
weird.
like, how is that possible? But he
Considering
loves
like
to get you to
how
buy
like
stuff.
yeah how many collected editions you have and everything, it just blows the mind that you don't ever you're just
Because
like
I'm cheap and
chilling.
I can get them cheaper somewhere else and don't have to lug them on a plane, except for this year.
Yeah,
It's so smart.
I was gonna ask what your favorite creator interaction is, but I think we already.
I mean, we've had this. There's a difference between at the con and then the ones we have on, but not to be a kiss ass, but every creator we have had on has been so nice and gracious. And they've all been very interesting and fun to talk to. So
Yeah.
I couldn't even say like who's our favorite creator interview. Not like we've had a ton, but um,
Yeah,
all of
they've
them
all been
have been
super
great.
awesome. Yeah.
All right. Is there any Is there any work, any run that you've been itching to get to, but you guys haven't done it yet?
We can go back to that list.
I think like it would be very interesting to do like kind of the beginning of the Turtles because it's just like a very fundamental comic thing, and I'm pretty sure Bryan and Hassan haven't read that,
Hmm.
or City of War, which is like kind of the more critically
Why haven't you
acclaimed
brought it
storyline.
up?
Because I feel like,
Weird about bringing turtles up to the show. He really is. I've been waiting for it for 4 years.
well, I'll tell you why.
You think they're not gonna like
Because
it?
no, it's not at like because we usually bring like it's easier to bring up like a definitive storyline, like, and there's not like such a clear like the turtles kind of don't do that.
Yeah.
Uh, and so it's like I need to just like I would have to read it and then be like, okay, I think this is a good chunk. I like because I'd be like, oh, I'll just pick four, and then it like weirdly cuts off in the middle. So it's on me to have to do the research. That's kind of why I haven't done it. And I mean, we did Usagi. Is probably very prime for this because you can jump in at any time, and we have discussed, but it's I think Usagi is not that great of a um discuss like it's not all the same, but the art really adds to the story because it's not like as deep to discuss.
Hmm.
So those are things like I'd be like, oh, I got okay, I really researched this. Like we have Senseo on the list forever, which would like is an interesting sort of non-canon Usagi world thing. So
I also expected you to do grass cutter at some point, but we haven't got there yet.
yeah.
You got 200 more episodes though.
Yeah.
You'll get there. You should do for
You're
like the
cutting us
turtles.
off.
Um, remember like these might have been like the first trade paperbacks I ever had, were like the old Mirage
The
like
first
volumes.
ones where they colored them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, they weren't colored. It was like
Oh.
old crappy paper too. It almost seemed like recycled kind of paper.
Hmm.
But I don't know how many issues, but those were good. I feel like it's 12 issues. You guys should do
Yeah.
that. What about you guys?
Turtle like OG Turtles needs to get covered, I think.
For
Bryan
me,
Hassan?
yeah, for me, I'm going to be biased towards stuff that I own but have not read it completely because I read it as it was coming out, but it was delayed quite a bit, and that's East of West. I would love to go back and cover that book.
Yeah,
I can see
I've
it from
mentioned that
where
a
we're
few
at.
times.
Yep.
I stare at it all the time and I'm like, damn, I need to read this again.
I mean, unfortunately, the creators don't really talk about the creators on that book anymore. So,
Yeah, they'll get somewhere one day.
yeah, I think so. Maybe.
But luckily, a lot of those characters made it into Absolute Batman. Alfred's in East of West. He's in every
He's
book that
also
Dragout
in
has
that
done.
that that manga one.
Yeah, Ghost
With the
Cage.
towers. Yeah, that
Yes,
one. That
I
one.
love Ghost Cage.
I know you
yeah,
do.
I like it too. Actually, the art's fantastic.
Yeah, that book is crazy
I
town.
I loved East of West up until the end.
I think that's like Hickman for sure. Like it,
That's
I
how he
didn't
always is.
I haven't read it collected like that, even though I
That,
own
that
it.
that's exactly my reason why I want to cover it. It's like I
Well,
did.
that's the
Yeah.
only way I've read it is I just saw it once.
I
So
read
Oh,
it
see,
as it was coming out, and I was like, "What the hell happened? This book is sick. What happened in it?"
uh, I remember picking up the first issue. We were at LA on vacation, and I picked up that and Bendis's first Guardians of the Galaxy issue. Even though I had it reading at home, I was like, "Oh, I can't wait until we get home. We gotta pick it up." And I love both issues. But yeah,
Newberry.
my my thought process is usually what can I make Bryan or Hassan read that they haven't read that's going to be cool. So that's how shit comes to me. Um, I still want to make Bryan read some fables besides the one or two we've read.
I haven't
Um,
read any fables.
I
None.
tried to read some more after that.
I
yeah,
feel like it's just not my thing.
like it's
That's
just
fair.
that's just how my mind works. Like I'll walk through my library and be like, oh yeah, we should cover that or we should cover that. Like that's kind of just how I do. It's not like, oh my God, we haven't. Oh, actually, there is one I do want to cover that I'm not sure we ever will because it just never rises to the top. But it's
I
been
know
on
what
the
it is.
list. Let's see what is it?
Promethea.
No, no, no.
Oh,
That's
Hercules?
nah. Um,
Sailor Moon.
that's a joke, but I would love to do it. Avengers Arena at some point, just because it's fun, over the top comics. I like it. It's weird. So
All right, guys. Here's a test time, all right? Let's see what you can come up with. So, in November 2022, I want you to think of a creator that was a nobody then, but now is like everywhere. Someone
Easiest
who's,
answer.
all right, give it to me.
Hayden Sherman.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And probably Kelly Thompson.
nah, she wasn't a nobody then. She was.
I mean,
She's
she
gone up a
was,
ton since then. But yeah, she
yeah,
was.
she wasn't a nobody. And I mean, Hayden was doing comics, but Hayden Sherman, I think for sure. I, like, what was Dan Mora doing in
No, I was
2022?
I was going to say Dan
Yeah,
Mora.
Haas is gonna come cut you. That was his answer.
Well, that's when we started happening. But I know this is like COVID, and we started like towards the end of COVID. But I remember, during COVID, we couldn't go out, so we were having a lot of calls with friends, and I'm trying to tell my comic friends, hey, this artist Dan Moore, he's up and coming. Like he should be on a big book. He should be on a big book. And so
That whole question was just a setup so that Hassan could do his, requisite Dan Mora
I know.
mention.
I mean, I could almost argue Nick Tragata. Like, I mean, he
No,
did East of West, but like, what was he doing in
he did Fantastic
2022?
Four before that as well.
He's like John Travolta, not in a weird way, but like John Travolta was successful. Then after then he kind of went not away, but he was doing stuff, and now he's prime time again.
He
Yeah.
even made a joke about it at the Absolute panel at Heroes. Like he's a 30-year overnight success or something like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that how he said it, Haas?
Yes. Yes. Um, I definitely think the artist, like what's interesting since we started, I think, and actually when we started, it was like we covered Nightwing, right? And I think it was early Nightwing that we covered of Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo's arc, not early Nightwing, like not Marvel Wolfman, George Perez Nightwing, but and I think that was the start of like these uh, non-American artists becoming big in the country. Like there have always been some non-American artists big, but it's just now, and especially in DC, and actually in Marvel too. Like there's a ton of artists that are just like killing it, and getting to superstar status. Like I mentioned Bruno Redondo, obviously Jorge Jimenez, who is way too good looking to be as talented as he is. Um, Daniel Sampre, who's drawing Wonder Woman right now with Tom King. I mean, all these guys are fantastic.
I know
And
two writers that I think have sort of grown up. Dennis Camp
yes,
and Dan Waters.
yes, those are good choices. Those are good
Yeah.
choices.
I was gonna say Ram V.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Ram V. That's right. That's a good choice too because he was doing stuff, but he wasn't. He didn't hit the big time until while we're doing the show.
Latest start.
Wait,
Yeah,
didn't him and Dan Waters, they didn't they do a book together? Yeah, the
they
one
did an
hand and
image
the
book. Yeah, that sort of like the plot link,
and
right?
I read that book much later, like once they sort of started getting popular, and I was like, this book's pretty cool. Like Dan Waters is like kind of snuck in there. Like I was like, oh, I don't know much about this guy, and then it was really Dark Patterns where I was like, oh, this dude rules.
I uh, I I was reading it as it was coming out. Thank you.
Newberry, you got me.
They've answered like everybody. So
Todd McFarlane, Mark
All
Wade,
right.
I was gonna say, Mark Wade has made a renaissance in this time.
he
Yes,
has,
Wow.
yes, I totally agree. I think his
and Jeff
yeah,
Johns.
yes, because with the Ghost
Because he's not
Machine
doing
stuff.
movies and TV anymore.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here we go. Here we go. Sorry. What's one habit that a co-host has that drives you crazy? I want to say each episode, maybe, but after 20 episodes, it still drives you crazy.
Hassan gives
Yeah.
everything 4 stars minimum.
Oh my God, yeah. That
That's
drives
not
me
true.
crazy.
That's not true. I give 3.5 stars on average.
I look at your League of
Yeah,
Comic
stars
Geeks
rounds.
ratings. I can't
I
trust
mean,
anything you put.
I mean, if I love something, I'm gonna put 4 stars.
If it's like
And
3.5 stars, it's a real piece of shit.
I mean,
yeah,
no. I am more generous, I think, than my peers on when we do ratings because I just
your
think
positivity grosses me out.
You should be like a high school teacher or something, just like,
Have
hey,
you
hey,
ever
hey,
given
hey.
a book with Batman in it under 4 stars?
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I
Are you
mean,
sure about that? 'Cause
I want to go
Brian will go
look.
look.
well, I probably not since I started doing the rankings on Comics Geek League, but prior to that, there was a Nightwing run where he forgot his memory, and oh my god, those were terrible books, dude. Those were
Yeah.
terrible
You mean the
books.
Rick Grayson era?
Yes, yes. Although they were so bad, they were fun to cover. I feel bad because Dan Jurgens became the writer like halfway through it, and he did his best. Like you could tell, like he's a good writer,
check
but
this positivity.
he was giving a lot of shit. I
3.5 stars. Worst book I've ever read. 3.5 stars.
Okay,
That's such a good one, Brian.
I'm gonna look right now.
Yeah, he's got to look now, Brian.
Dude, I bet you from now on, like each episode from now on, I was thinking about this is a 2-star book. This is a 1 star. He's gonna be too self-conscious about it all.
Uh,
No, Hassan just
I
will not talk about it if it's not a good.
That's true. I try not to talk about books that
I gave
that
one of the new Matt Fraction Batman books 2 stars.
Shit, and did Hassan see it?
I was
He
like,
says.
I can't even finish reading this. I blacked out in the middle of it.
I'm a pretty firm 3-star kind of guy. I give
Yeah,
latitude.
I would say you and Brian are the most brutal. Uh, Brian knows he is and has to defend himself, but nobody's mad at you for doing it.
I just feel self-conscious about it because everybody's got to be so positive, so I'm
It's
afraid people are going to come at us.
I find this part interesting because like we meet all these creators and you're a wonderful person. I'm sorry your book is a little boring. That's okay. Like it just didn't hit right now. And that's not fun to like if I made a comic book and I was like, I made this fucking book. Somebody's like 2 stars. I'm like, I'm gonna go sit
I
in this
know.
corner and cry for
I,
like a month.
Yeah,
But you need criticism to improve.
For
You know?
sure, exactly. And
And
if
if
I
you see that
if I
one of your
made
books is getting lots of 2s, then you got to look at it and
yeah. Yeah, and if I had made hundreds of comic books and like in aggregate, like they were like 4s, yeah, like I'm gonna yeah, I was lazy on that one. That's what happened. I forgot that Batman was supposed to have action in it. I forgot.
and just so everybody that's listening, when they're talking about rating, what is it? League Comic
League.
Geeks app you guys use. I don't.
yeah.
I set up an account. I don't use it, but I do rate stuff on Goodreads, and our friends laugh at me. Larry calls me the 3-star king because everything's 3 stars. And I'm like, look, it starts at 3 stars. If it's bad, it goes down. If it's good, it goes up. Three is the floor.
Yeah, that's fair. That's completely
Mm-hmm.
normal.
I gave Youngblood 2 stars.
Okay.
Batman's not in Youngblood. That wasn't the question.
Oh man.
All the new Vertigo books. Ah, those are
I
things.
like End of Life. I think End of Life is fun, but the
It is
others,
probably the best.
not well.
Yeah,
I like
Besides
Bleeding.
Nice House
I like
I haven't
Bleeding.
read it.
Fantasy, like
I gotta wait till that's done.
I like Bleeding Heart as
I
well.
can't with Bleeding Heart.
I've got them stacked up. I just haven't been motivated to go back.
I think you other two are avoiding the question.
No, he talked about me and avoiding, crouching my criticism. Oh, Hassan didn't answer. Brian's given one on both of us, is what you're saying. I'm not trying to be overly positive here, but I literally try not to just hang up on stuff because I don't want stuff to. I feel like if something creeps in where it's just something that's annoying the shit out of me, if I don't say something, it'll just make this not fun anymore. So if there is something, I say it, and I can't even think of anything I really have. Um, yeah. I mean, I think the biggest might be Brian's like 6:30, and then I'm up here at 6:30, 6:45. That's probably like the biggest. I'm just like, okay, I'll just read a comic while I'm sitting here. Like it's no big deal. Oh,
Hassan's just
Hassan's,
not going to say anything.
I'm
Hassan's
not
like,
going to say
no.
anything. I'm Mr. Four Star, apparently. Why would I give Brian and Brian
Uh-oh.
2 stars?
Uh-oh.
See, this is why
Mr.
you
Four
don't say
Star,
shit.
apparently.
Okay. If I'm going to say something, hey, when we're recording, yeah, it's on the calendar on the Google Docs.
When I ask, I will say it's because I'm at work and my iPad. I do not connect to the internet on the work servers, and I don't have
I've
the
heard
Google
about
Doc
this.
on my phone.
I've heard about this before. You know,
You probably have.
every week Brian has to ask, "What time are we recording?" And it's the
Which
same
Brian?
time every week. Newberry has to ask.
I'm like, when time are y'all ready? Because it does float. We try. It's anywhere between
It's like a 15-minute
7:30 and
range.
8.
There's a 15-minute range. Like,
Yes. So I'm like, what time do I need to come up and start? That's it. Because
because
Brian
his
might have meetings that
computer
go late and he hasn't eaten dinner, or Hassan had a work drink after. So yeah.
is like because Brian Newberry's computer is like the Flintstones. He has to get time to get it started. You know, he has some creatures in the background running it.
This laptop's set up downstairs. I got to bring it and set it up every time. So
All right, guys. I have a couple more questions, but I'm gonna save them to the end. All right. So in the meantime, though, what are you guys reading?
Whoa.
I am
see
reading
Let me see what I get
Wild
4
Stuff.
stars to.
Star Wars Dark Empire, Attack on Titan. New stuff. Brand new stuff. New
I got caught
books.
up. I got caught
Yeah.
up on the absolutes, and I've been reading some Ignition stuff
Oh yeah,
and
Ignition is
back
pretty
issue.
cool.
Yeah, and some back issue magazines that I picked up at Heroes. But
I have been behind on reading current stuff. Work's been busy, life been busy, so I have like a stack of 72 comics to go through. So I've just been going through them. I read Batman, by the way, by Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez. I know that's a shocker. Really enjoyed that issue. And yeah, I've been reading Ignition Press. I'm catching up on that. Yeah, just trying to catch up on stuff that I'm behind on. Nothing spectacular.
I'll say I got all the way caught up on Absolute Flash
Uh-huh.
and Absolute Superman.
Correct.
Absolute
too behind
Flash.
on Absolute Superman. That's
Absolute
next.
Flash is getting much better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think after
I don't understand Absolute Superman.
Really?
I don't know.
Absolute Superman, you don't understand?
It doesn't vibe with me. Like,
Mm.
so something about the Absolute world I find very interesting is like Absolute Batman the story is pretty engaging and it's a lot about the look. Absolute Superman doesn't look cool at all to me. Like Absolute Flash, I don't know. Anthony, what do you like? You're the Flash guy. How do you feel about this Absolute Flash?
I've hardly read any of it, to tell you the
But
truth. That's the
why?
one because it kind of didn't appeal to me after like two or
Yeah.
three issues, you know.
Yeah. It takes a long like Grodd is so weird in it, and his costume
I'm gonna
doesn't.
power through the whole
I
chunk, but
I think you were like absolute Linda once she gets introduced. You definitely like her, and I think the on the absolute Flash, I do like it a lot more now. I think they took too long to tell the first story arc.
Yeah.
That was I think the downside. But once you got past the first story arc and they have things set up, it's actually a lot more interesting and actually moving a lot more faster now.
you think Lemire just that's just how he works better is just the long form.
Yeah, I think his style of writing hasn't changed relative to the some of the other creators. I think he's that's how he does. He does long form. Like, I love his Just Society of America that he's doing, but he's basically done two big story arcs, maybe three now with the Spectre, and that's it. You know,
Absolute Flash, like Wally is like the least exciting part of the whole book.
Yeah.
And Barry is way more interesting. And when you learn more about Barry, and then like Snart is kind of cool in this. And then you get Mirror Master gets kind of interesting. And then it takes a long time for you to get to Wally being interesting. And once that happens, it gets much better. And the same thing happened with Absolute Green Lantern. Like you're like, what?
Are you current on Absolute Green Lantern?
I'm a couple behind because it's getting too out there.
That's right where I was going because
Yeah.
at first I was kind of shaky on it. Then it got better. Now the concepts don't click or quite make sense. They're trying to be too Morrison-y to me
Hmm.
with using but names of, oh, you're a Tomar. Well, I don't know what that means. And they finally tell me, but it just doesn't like some of it's just trying to be too cosmic-y, smarter than you, and it's just not quite clicking anymore. Like that one's gone up and down for me.
I agree. Like I read the last issue, and I was like, man, do I have to go back to read issue one and read the whole thing and understand what's going on?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about in a good way. Like Absolute Man, March Manhunter Finish by Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez, right? Fantastic, fantastic. Like even though I didn't understand some of the stuff they were doing, at the end it made sense. It actually was very satisfying. Satisfying. I loved it, loved it. But yeah, I on that note, I don't know. The one book, and we talked about Vertigo. I actually have been digging the Vertigo stuff. I also read a lot of Vertigo stuff in the past that most people did not read. So leave that. This is a data point, but I like Chris Condon's Vertigo book that he's doing with Jacob Phillips called "The Purr of the Birdo Dark." That's been interesting. I've also been catching up on That Texas Blood. I'm on volume two, which is their image collaboration, image book they did.
So Anthony, question for you.
Hmm.
You don't have a big reading project this year, so you've been reading new shit. What are you reading and liking?
I'm not reading new shit.
What are
So
you
this
fucking reading,
I know
buddy?
what he's
I
reading.
know. So this last month I read all of Scalped because I had never read it before.
I've never read it, and I have the omnibuses and need to.
I I was actually gifted like the whole set of the trades. It was a 10 set of 10 trades.
Yeah.
And I've read the first volume like maybe two or three times, but I just never kept going, which I don't know why because I enjoyed it. I just never kept going. So last month I decided I'm just going to go through the whole thing and I loved it. I actually gave my first 5 star to I think it was volume 9.
9. I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
It's a,
So
see, that's a
I loved it.
momentous, well-earned 5 star that
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I'm going to pay attention to this one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I read Razzle, all of Razzle from Jeff Smith, which
Mm-hmm.
I'd had like these these huge San Diego Comic Con editions for like 15 years, and I never read it. Man, it was kind of bad.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy it. I think
I
it was
It's
like a
read,
three and a
okay.
half.
It
I
didn't blow
enjoyed
me
it.
away.
Yeah, it was good.
but
And
it's
that
hard.
those
It's hard
last issues,
to it's hard to compete with Bone though.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I felt like he was just not into it at the end, and you could see the art was kind of rushed, and like he was just trying to finish this story out. And it was only 16 issues, but it took him what 8 years? I don't know. There was that. What else did I read this month? Um, oh, I just read Monsters by Barry
What,
Windsor
what
Smith.
do you thought of it? I read that.
That
I
was
mean,
another one I had on my bookshelf for like five
yeah,
years. Um, I think I gave it 4.5 stars.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean it. That's one book where it just really sticks with you.
hmm
After it's done. It's like I still think about that book. I actually went on Goodreads and I was reading people's reviews of it, and it goes from like 1 star to 5 stars on that book, which is pretty interesting. And then I just started the Inkle,
Oh
but
wow.
For the
First
first
time?
time,
yeah, and that's yeah. I
Yes,
should show you. I
right.
don't have it with me. It's downstairs in my backpack. But that book has been in my bookcase for so long that when you pull it out, it's like completely sun bleached.
Ah,
That's good
So
you were
stuff.
opening a can of worms with that one.
I know. I'm not. I've watched like Jodorowsky's movies and stuff, and I'm not really into it. I just think that stuff's it all goes over my head, you know. So I feel
Inkle's
like
not like that though. Like, I mean, it's definitely weird, but like
yeah, I mean
in
it
a much
doesn't seem
more
like it, but then I'm also
playful
thinking like
idea.
I'm sure I'm missing a lot here, you know.
I don't know. Just absorb the art. Like,
Yeah. So, but then I just bought one of those, like the DC, the smaller, what do they call those things? Not
Compact.
the,
Compacts.
yeah, I bought the Authority for that
ooh,
because actually this is what I got from you guys is I had never read Planetary
Oh
before,
wow.
and then after you guys' shows I read that and I loved it. So,
yeah.
but I still haven't done Authority yet, so I'm gonna start that.
Oh man, that's
Oh,
Inkle and Authority.
you should let
Damn.
Authority. Oh man, Authority's awesome, dude. I'm jealous of reading it for the
Yeah.
first time.
Wouldn't have done it. Not gonna do it if it wasn't for you guys.
Then Brian's gonna
Hell
see
yeah.
he's gonna rate it a 2 star, and he's gonna like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm not talking to him again. If he gives Inkle two
How
stars, that
can you
shit's
be
done.
a spirit of a century? It's
You don't talk
dumb.
shit about Jenny.
All right, guys. Last two questions. I'm going to bring you down, but then I'm going to bring you right back up.
Oh fuck! You've already asked the hard one of what do we not like about each other.
All right. If
Five
comics
inches when
dis
excited.
Are you ready? If Comics Discourse 114 were to end tomorrow, what would be your biggest regret?
Not talking to them like once a week. Like that's what I'd miss. So
This
yeah,
is
I
when you
mean we
guys are going to
talk
start
daily, but
crying.
yeah, yeah,
Thank God you guys, this is on video. We're going to get crying.
um,
Well, I feel like we'd still talk. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
why
But
did
we
it?
wouldn't
I
like
gotta know why
we.
it ended.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I was gonna say something nasty, but I stopped.
I would say, I mean, it's just having a whole comic show and not have ever discussing the turtles scene. I'd be like, that's what do we do? Like we've let.
Oh, yeah.
It's all on you. We
Yeah,
have
that would
told you
be
from
I
the start. When
know
you want to
the
talk
pressure's
turtles, you
high.
tell us.
I will regret some of the stuff that we didn't talk about. Like, oh man, we never
Yeah,
got to this. Besides the fact, not talking to these guys on a regular basis, and also just it just makes us like think about comics in a more diverse way because we want to think about the show, and I would miss that. Then I get back to reading. I'm just going to read Batman, and oh, I don't need to read this thing because I'm not going to talk about it. I'm kidding. I probably should read it, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah. One of my favorite parts about this hobby, like both reading comics and collecting art, is the sharing aspect. Like, I don't know. I rarely consume media and just like not talk about it. Like, and I think that like it's just not as enjoyable to me. If I was just like reading a comic and just like I read that, I will tell no one. I don't know. That's just not in my nature. I don't find that as fun.
Okay, you got to have this outlet for you.
I agree with that. I
It
definitely
helps.
agree
It
with that.
helps, like, because I like Brian and Hassan telling me things that they are like, oh, you got to read this. Oh, you would love this thing. And I mean, hopefully, if it ended on a good reason, and they'll still do that. Not, Jesus, Brian, we're ending the show because you won't stop fucking talking about turtles.
Well, since the show is not ending, what do you guys see the future holding for the show? What do you want to do with it?
Hassan's got grand dreams.
Does go for it.
Oh, I don't want to. No, I mean, I want to keep going. I would like us to do. We've been playing around with videos, some shorter videos. Do some of that from a like a pro, like a other ways we could express our opinions in short bursts. I like to do more of that besides our long form podcasts. Um, there's also all these other books that, again, like I mentioned, that we haven't covered that I would like to go down the path of covering. I love comic book history, and what I mean by that is not just, hey, this just came out this on this day, and this creator did this issue on this day. More going back in time, reading the book as is, and experiencing it at, trying to think about this book and the context of when the book came out, how it was written. You kind of did this when you read all the Flash one year,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And like, let's be honest, some of those books are like, oof, what were they thinking? you know, I mean, I read the first issue or first story of Justice Society of America because of DC Finance. That dude took me an hour and a half to read one issue. 'Cause it was thick.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Those
And
Golden Age books will go blind trying to get through those things.
I know, and it's so dense.
So much exposition. It
Yes.
gets exhausting.
But outside of that, you look at the art though, it's a lot of detail in that art too, in those panels. Like, they were really great artists back then. But anyway, that's what I would say. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I would say the video format seems fun for the same, like, it's a visual medium. Like, so
Yes.
it works well, and there's a lot of aspects you can show, like, and talk about. Like, I think it's fun to break down panels and call that kind of stuff out, point out interesting things. We have a lot of original art that can be fun to show. Like, and it's just more, it's like a different way to share. So I think that's a fun aspect. It's less collaborative between the three of us and a little more solo in that way.
Mm.
But we could do more collaborative con-based stuff. Like, Heroes in Baltimore sort of is our limit, but I don't know. Like, I find just going to cons with each other like fun for a different reason. You just get super hyped. Like, I mean, I went to San Diego last year for the first time, and Anthony, you and I, like, just nerded out about all kinds of things that you just see. You're not even buying it. You can't even afford it. Like, it doesn't even matter. You're just like, what in the hell? This is like, like, they had that Todd McFarlane Batman cover, like the iconic one with his cape. Like, the original art was just there, and I'm like taking a picture. I'm like, Hassan, look what is in my face
I
right now. This
know,
is
I know.
insane.
One of the things, and you already you said this in one of your questions, but one of the things I regret not doing enough of, like, I'm not like, when I go out with my family and stuff, I always live in the moment. I don't take a lot of pictures, selfies. I'm living the moment. I'm the type of person that wants to be in the moment, spend time with my family or friends. Same thing with cons. I'm having a great time at cons. I always forget. Oh, let me take a picture. Let me take a selfie. Oh, let me do this like quick like video. I always forget because I'm just in the moment. Like, I'm not. I don't want to like pause. Like, oh, wait. Let me stop this beautiful moment and let me take a picture. I always forget about that.
We'll do it for you.
Yeah.
I try to do that a lot. Like, I was just looking through pictures as we were discussing this. Like, and I have a picture with, like, me and Jim Shooter. Like, and I remember, like, I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna go chat with Jim Shooter, and we had a great chat. And now he's gone. Like, like sometimes you just have to do that, like because you won't get another opportunity. And so I don't, it doesn't ever take me out of the moment. It like makes me appreciate the moment a little more because I'll be like, oh, and that like I have some really fun pictures of all everybody that's talking to me right now. Like that's pretty awesome.
You guys should go for
Well,
some big fish to get on this show, you know? That might
oh,
be
well,
a
we'll
regret.
get to that here in a minute. But yeah, Bryan is good at just going up to creators at a show and just talking to them. Like, no big deal. He just walks up and starts talking and talk to him for 15, 20 minutes. So, um, yeah, Anthony, one thing we have been trying to do, and just peel back the curtain a little bit, we have had some big creators on over the years, but we haven't had a ton of creator guests. It's not that easy. Um, we'll network and try to get to people, and reach out to them through people we know. Sometimes Hassan usually coordinates all of that. Um, and we've reached out to several and we don't get a response. I'm not going to name names. It's just they get bombarded by folks and we don't hear anything back. But we do have some that we talk to off and on, and several of them will hopefully be coming back on, and we do have some more in the pipeline. But yeah, it's not just as easy as, well, um, emailing. We do try. We're hopeful. It is fun when we have creators on. We enjoy that.
You
I
just need
would
to carry a
actually like,
microphone to the Western gym. Just carry a
yeah,
microphone.
I mean, that's what we need to
Oh,
do.
definitely now.
Um, I've said from the start, I want to get creators on not just to talk about their own books, but just, they do that a lot, and I get that they want to promote their stuff, and I think that's great. But I just like them have some on just to talk comics like we do. Like, hey, what's some comic you love from back in the day? Let's all read it and talk about it. Like, I want to do something different like that.
Oh,
Besides, they're on their press tour and hyping their new book that comes out, and I mean that can be part of it. But I would love to be able to get to that point where we have some relationships with folks where they're willing to come on and do that. Um, but other than that, you know, I'm going to go ahead and make an announcement. Anthony is kind of unofficially joining a side Comics Discourse 114 podcast.
oh my God.
So for a while, been
Anthony's a
discussing
side
trying to
piece.
do, yeah, Anthony's
Not
side
the
piece.
first
Kind of
time.
what my husband calls it. So we got top of the stack, and I've been noodling around for a while doing solo stuff called side stacks because we all read so much other shit that just doesn't even make it to the show. Mostly old stuff, and you know, just haven't felt motivated to sit here and talk to myself for 15 or 20 minutes. So I reached out to Anthony, and I've been reading stuff about Marvel fanfare, and I've been eyeing those omnibuses, and I'm like, I never read this. For some reason, I want to. And Anthony always has these big projects every year, reading the Flash or all the Fantastic Four. I was like, hey, you want to do a smaller one at 60 issues? And we talk about it
Shh.
every week. Anthony's like, I can do that in a day. Um, so sometime in the next couple months, we have not figured out when or logistics or anything like that. Anthony's going to be joining me for once a week. I think we're going to cover one issue of Marvel Fanfare and then talk about it, and then the creators behind it, and all that stuff, because it is a fascinating series once you start diving into the history
Yeah,
of
I'm
it.
super stoked. I'm super stoked to go over the issues, but then also kind of like how Hassan was saying, to look at the history of like what was going on at Marvel at the time, maybe looking at, how these stories were created, how editorial got these stories to be created. So yeah, I'm super stoked about it. When you mentioned it to me, I went on eBay and I bought like the whole 60 issues in the first 10
I was
minutes.
like, you want to think about it for a minute? No, I got them all coming to my house. I was like, shit.
It wouldn't be an anniversary episode without a new member joining. Even the
I'm just a
reservist.
side piece. I'm just a side piece, bro.
Reserve member.
So I did tell my
You like
husband
you like
about it. He's like,
Stingray. You're Stingray of the Avengers now. You know who Stingray is, right?
my husband's like, so you're doing side piece now? And I'm like, yep, that's it.
Is that the name of the
So
podcast? Side piece.
yeah, a side stack, but yeah, unofficially side piece.
Everyone's just gonna say side piece, even if it's side stack. That's just what they're gonna
So
say.
Bryan's side
um,
piece.
I
Anthony
know.
and I will be sharing a room at Heroes next year, just so
I
you
know.
know.
I know. I'm a little worried.
Oh, but this should be fun. Again, no official launch date or anything like that, but you guys will hear about it before we start. And if you're subscribed to our show, you'll just see random unnumbered issue episodes in the stack
Nice.
there. So, but then this is just hot off the presses because Anthony and I just talked about this like last 2 days. So
Psh, hot.
yes.
Super excited.
Anyway,
Well, thanks, guys.
um,
Thanks for having me on your 200. This is a big deal.
thanks for joining us and thanks for talking to us.
This was a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
Fun to go down
We get to
memory
do a little
lane.
bit more.
And talk about comics.
Listen, usually the point I share what we're doing next week, but we are booked out and I have no idea what we're doing next week. So, Hassan, is next week top of the stack or I can't remember.
I
So,
would say I haven't confirmed, but we should have a special guest on, not a creator, a special guest on to help us discuss a comic book that
Oh.
Brian Newberry and I enjoy a lot because Brian
I know what
Clark
this
would
is.
be at San Diego at the time.
Oh yeah.
With Anthony. They'd be pouring up, going to these
And Raj.
and Ross, that's right. They'd be
Yeah,
enjoying
Raj.
in San Diego. They'd be sending me photos. Like, look at this. Look what we're doing, Hassan. Look at what we're doing, Hassan. I'd be like,
Raj, look what I bought. Look what I bought. No, now I remember what we're doing, but we'll save that one.
yeah.
Anything we need to plug? Are we good?
I'll just say, hey, if you like this episode, why wouldn't you? It's 200 episodes of goodness. Leave us a 5-star review. I can't speak right now. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast, as well as check us out on all social medias, including TikTok and YouTube. And if you want to leave us a note of how much you love this episode or have some thoughts about what we discussed, send us an email at comicsdiscourse114@gmail.com.
Anthony, thank you again.
No problem,
Yeah,
guys.
it was awesome, dude.
It was an honor.
All right,
Hell
folks.
yeah.
Well, we'll leave it here. Y'all have a good one, and we'll talk to you next week.
5 stars.